Hello everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to discuss how to create a market scan, a normal market scan, how to use this function in our application effectively. Even though we have already created many market scans in other video tutorials, some of you guys might already familiar with the procedures, but because market scan creation is such a important function in our application. So I think it is worthwhile taking some time create a individual um, a video tutorial, and we just focus on how to use this module because I want you guys to use it effectively and correctly. So that's why we made this video. Okay, so in this part, we are going to introduce how to create a normal market scan. As you might think of, yes, we do have another type of market scan that will be that is the bulk market scan. So that video we're gonna deliver another. We'll put that content in a different video tutorial. So in this one, if you let's just look into our normal market scan. Okay, let's go into our application. All right, so first thing is if you want to do a market screening, a market scan, so there is a preconditions you have to make. The first one is you need to have data to start with, right? So you want to do a market scan. So first of all, you need to import a market data into the application. So usually it depends on which market you're focused on. For example, if you are in a so your the market data you can load it. For example, for me, my focus is Australian markets because I'm in Australia at the moment. So um, I will load up our market in Australia. So that's the market I'm interested in, right? For you, you might be in different area, country and area. So yeah, load up the data, import the data as the very first step when you use our application. So as you can see here, if you let's clean up everything for now. So if you open up our application, first thing is click this folder. Means the data. So as you can see, the tooltips and show you open market data tree. So if you not load anything yet, as you can see, this one is just showing the categories. So in our release one, we only support stocks. In our future release, we will allow you to import the bonds and different type of equities. But the first release, let's focus on the stocks. As you can see right now, nothing there. So first thing first is you need to import market data, right? So you click that the market data import icon. So this is our financial market data import facility. So this one dialog pops out, allows you to import data, right? We have a video tutorial to teach you how to import data, a different way to do it. So but there's one more thing I want to say here, mentioned here is very important because we are going to use our market scan function, which means you cannot load the data in a memory safe mode, right? So if you want to use the market scan to scan some market data, you have to load the full market data instead of memory safe mode, because memory safe mode only loads the symbols. There is no data will be imported because we want to save some memory in your PC. If you want to use the market scan, make sure you do not check this one. Okay, so untick that one. Make sure this text has disappeared. Right. Okay, let me uncheck enable market safe mode. We just do a normal data import, a full data import. So first thing, you select your country and area. In my case, it's Australia. Market type, of course, is stocks. Always pick the stocks in our first release. Market codes. If you connect to the internet, you will see those categories for your market code. So basically, they'll categorize your all the stocks in your market into different types. For example, I only want to see the top 200 Australia shares. I don't want to see those, penny shares and Yeah, that's why I picked this one because I have my data here. So, and then you picked up the data from. So my data are stored in my global share Australia 200 from 2013 to present day. So I select that folder because all my data is in there, and I click the import. Just let this importer do their job, do its job, right? So we have 2008, 2781 files loaded, right? So once it's successful, and you close that one, or you press the ESC key on your keyboard. Okay, so once that finish, if you refresh your financial market data tree, as you can see, those symbols displayed. You double click anything, and that share chart will be displayed for you, right? So that's the first thing. We have our data imported. All right. Once you have the data imported, you're ready to go to create a market scan. So in order to create a market scan, for example, here, so you need to go into our market scan management, right? There's one way to do it is just you go into analysis manual, right? You have to pick up this market manual, the market scan management. You click on that, and this one is it opens the market scan management tree for us. So as you can see, I have already created two of them here, right? So if you want to create a new market scan, and you can right click on that to brings up this pop-up menu, and you say click add market scan, right? So once you click that, you can see this is the market scan management page. So it's consistent couple of parts for here. So this interface divided these areas, and let me just go through all these controls here, get you familiar with this GUI. So first of all, the upper part and down, the upper part is our configuration part. So as you can see, the first of all, you have to define the market scan name, right? It's easy for you to take a look at the name and you know what the scan was going to do. Usually you want to put a meaningful name. So it just differentiate this market scan with others. For example, I'm gonna just create this one that say weekly uptrend shares, right? And then, so as you can see, if you're looking at these tree nodes, because we synchronize that name with that name in that tree node, so once I type in something, so as you can see right here in the second one, it changes as well. So you know, you can see you can name it as anything. So for now, I'm just putting weekly uptrend shares. Okay. Okay, so that's the first one, the name. You don't need to worry about second one because that's generated by this application just to uniquely identify this market scan. So just leave it that as it is. Don't worry about that. You can add it. You can change it. The third one is the sentiment, right? So that means your sentiment of your market scan. So if this one, I'm trying to find out all the uptrend shares. So my sentiment, for example, is bullish, right? So I'm selecting bullish here. Again, this sentiment is not a mandatory field. You know, if you select something else, it doesn't matter. Market scan still runs, but you know, as recommended, you put a correct sentiment here because if you double click that tree again, once you select the bullish, as you can see, the market scan icon here becomes green color. So the green color means the bullish sentiment. So that showing green color, you can differentiate it from the other types of market scan, or you already created. That's the only benefit there. Okay, so that's the optional field as well. So, and then we have to specify when this market scan will. So we have to specify the time of what we call it, the periods of this market scan will look into. First of all, is you need to have a start date and end date. So this one is automatically populated for you, depends on your data, because my data in that folder, it starts from 2011 up to the present day. So it's automatically, you know, picked up that correct date for me. Because and for now is the first day of 2022. Okay, sorry, it's the 2nd of 2022, so still at Sunday. My last trading day for that is the 31st of December 2021. So as you can see, this scan to date is automatically populated to that date. But it's nothing wrong with you. You can just tell the scanner, okay, don't scan up to this date. You can pick up any date before the present date. So that's okay. So even you change a different month. So I want to scan up to the first day of the first week end of the 20 November. So you just change the date to that, or October, whatever you want to choose. So, but it has to be before your front date. So default, I usually scan to the present day, but sometimes you want to prove your market scan is effective. We will talk about in what kind of scenarios you really want to set up the market scan date to the couple of weeks or couple of months. So I'm going to talk that in our watch list playlist, but for now, yeah, so that date you can configure. But as you can see, those red dots, red dates here, you can't pick up because those are in the future. The application restricts you to set a date to the future date, because it identifies you do not have those dates trading data, right? So you don't have any data, so it only allows you to set up to the last trading day. All right, let's select that. Front end 2. So those things here, don't worry about it, because this is the different topic in different videos. So I'm going to talk that bulk scan later in another video tutorial. So but this one, which means the normal scan. So the normal scan means it's a non-bulk scan, so you don't check that one. Leave everything default, right? So those things, doesn't matter. It's just a name and sentiment you can configure, and the front and to date. Front date, yes, you can also configure front date. You can convert any date just before the to date, so that will be good. But usually you want to select the default. Yeah, that's pretty much for the front end 2. All right, the next thing you need to configure is the data. So even though we uploaded our data, it's still in this available tree. So as you can see here, so the left hand side is all market data. So as you can see, because you loaded the ASX 200 data, so it appears in the left hand side tree, but it's not in our right hand side tree, because the selected market data, you need to select it to the right hand side tree in order to run the market scan, because market scan need to be specified which data, which market you want to scan, right? So in here, you tell the scanner which market you want to scan. So how you can select it, you can just you can double click on that. You highlight that item and double click on that. As you can see, it's going to right hand side, and this means you have already selected stocks 200 to ASX 200 market, right? So market scan will scan this market for us. All right, up to here you still cannot run this one, because there is one last thing you need to configure. Is you need to tell the market scanner, or which filters you want to use, or which which filter or group of filters you want to use for this market scan. So basically, as you can see, the left hand side is all the available filters you have created, right? So, and as you can see, such many of them. Right hand side is indicator filters. So as you can see, we have indicator filter management, and it allows you to create indicator filters. Any indicator filters will going under that indicator filters root, right? So those two. And trend filters is another type of filter, so you can create it for the release one. So that's our trend filter management. As you can see, if you create any trend related filters here, so it's all placed in under that trend filters root node. So many of them here. So in order to run the market scan, you need to pick at least one filter, right? So you can pick as many as you want, but any combination you want, but you should have at least one. So for this demo, I just pick up because the name that market scan as weekly uptrend shares, the weekly uptrend, so that looks the right one, so I select it. Again, how to select it to the right hand side, you need to highlight the item or filters you want to select into market scan and double click on it, make sure it goes into my right hand side uh, tree. If you don't want it, you just double click on the right hand side tree. As you can see, I double click on that, it disappeared. Right, so it just lets you to double click on that. You select it, double click again, it disappeared. All right. Once you configure all of those items, we are ready to go to run the market scan. So in here, you do not have a button to run it. In order to run it, you need to go into our market scan control panel, right? So in here, we have all this control statement or say control commands there. You can run it. In here, you can observe it, the results. Okay. So let's go into the market scan control panel. So that's why I'm saying the name is important, because you have to differentiate this market scan with others. Let's go into a market scan control panel, which is our last item in this analysis menu group. You click market scan control panel. So the market scan control panel opens. So the market scan control panels displaying all the created market scans here. So as you can see, we have 3. So in our market scan control panel, you have 3, right? And then you need to find out which one you want to run by looking at the name, the market scan name. So weekly uptrend shares, that's the name of this market scan we just created. And in order to run it, you just find that action button groups here, right? So you click that green tick, start the market scan. Okay, so you can run a multiple of them at the same time. As you can see here, it started. You can run multiple of them at the same time, but it doesn't. As you can see here, you want to run it. So here you can run again. So that's, you see the third one is running, but the first one, that's we are in our tutorial, so we want to run this one. So this one is running, right? You can do multiple market scan at the same time. So because this one is running, as you can see, if you open the market scan management page for this, still running bulk one. So as you can see, everything is disabled. You can click and can change because only the progress bar is running, so which means this one is still ongoing. But the second one, the weekly uptrend shares, were finished, right? Here is tells you your ADA selected in our result sets. So how to check the results of the market scan? So basically, they're placed into this scan results history tree, right? As you can see, the tree has a year, has a month, has a date. Because we scan up to our 2021 December 31st, that you will see a 2021 year node and December. Okay, so that date, because we scan up to the last trading day of 2021. So here you can see our results. The results in that green color. The result is the child node. So in order to view it, so the only way you can do is double click on it, right? So if you double click on it, as you can see, the ADA shares appears in our result table list, okay, in the right hand side area. So as you can see, the result display in such a way. The first one tells you which one. So the first one is the counter index. If you scroll to the bottom, that should be displaying 87 because we have ADA. If you count from 0, so that's 87. That's correct. And also the second column is our security code, right? So that means your share code. So ALQ, ABP, that means the company share symbol, right, or code. That one is the bucket that tells you this belongs to which market. So of course it's from our S&P ASX 200. So most interesting one is the chart preview column. So basically this column will generate a chart preview in a line chart. It just shows you what the shares chart look like, because you can just by looking at this you can see what the shares line chart look like, right? So that's quite convenient for us. The last one is the watch list. So if you want to place this one into the watch list, you can right click on that and then just add to the watch list, because we have a multiple watch list pre-named for you. For example, it's a long watch list or short, a long consolidation, short consolidation. I will explain those kind of watch listing in our watch list playlist. We have created a video tutorial there and teach you how to use our watch list effectively. But for now, you have the option to do that. Basically, if you want to add one to the long watch list, you select the one. So this single CCP, for example, will be added to your long watch list. Right? So the watch list, if you open the watch list and you select the long watch list, as you can see, your CPP goes to here, right? So yeah, anyway, we'll talk about this one later. This is last column, watch list. Okay, so so those are our market scan for the results. But if you want to take into in details, you want to see this chart in a detail. So what you can do is highlight that one and double click on it, right? So it open up chart for you. For example, you want to look into the chart for the BKW because this looks good, right? So you double click on that. So as you can see, the BKW brickwork. So that one is open up for us, the chart in the main area, right? So you verify things, but basically because weekly uptrend, as you can see, if you open the TSP, the trend spectrum indicator in our application, the background, as you can see, the spectrum is in green for this current week. So that's the correct result. All right. So that's how you can take a look at the chart in detail. Just double click on that. Okay. Then another thing is, if you want to run in a different date, as I just said, you can run it in different dates. So if you change, I don't want to scan it in the present day, right? So in the last day, I want to scan. How about the 3rd of December? So that is the Friday. So I want to scan a couple of weeks ago what it would look like. So if you change that date here, right, and you go into the market scan again and looking for the same market scan and click star. So as you can see here, the market scan first of all pops out there a summary for you. It tells you what this market scan we're going to do. First of all, it will scan from that day to, as you can see, we changed the date to the 3rd of December, so it's gonna be scan on into up to this date. And the condition and the scan type is a normal scan, so that's the topic we're talking about now. And trend filters is only filter we use here, right? So if you click OK, so this time on that date you only have 39 shares as the results. So what happened if you go back to here and you right click and refresh result tree? So as you can see, in December, because we did another market scan up to 3rd of December, so we have another date item here. So that result is from the market scan up to 3rd of December. So if you right click on that, if you take a look at the numbers, as you can see, the 38. So the 38 here, that matches the result set because we scan up to 3rd of December. Right? Let's do something even more earlier. So as you can see, I can just change the months. For example, I'm just going to scan up to the 1st of October. Yes, you can change the up to date. Change this date to the 1st of October. And you're going back here, the market scan control panel, and you do another scan. As you can see, the to date changes to the 1st of October. And now you have 58. If you refresh again, so as you can see, the months, we have a October month node added in. So that's this market scan from that date, right? The 1st of October. If you double click on that, and as you can see, that's the result tree is updated. Sorry, the results table list is refreshed, to show us what the results from that date. There is a little thing here, as you can see, if you have noticed that in this chart preview, you have a dot vertical line here, right? Right. Okay. So the vertical line means the the vertical line in the preview chart means the to date of that line chart. For example, we scan up to 1st of October, so that dot line means, you know, this the first of the 1st of October, right? So that tells you the scan up to date. So why this have preview here is we'll place this vertical line here in the preview, and you will know after that date of scan of what this share will look like up to the present. Because as you can see, if you see this one, for example, as you can see, the shares is going right, you know, is the price is rising after the 1st of October. So from this preview chart, you just by you know, first glance you will know, okay, so this chart actually is going up, was going up, right? So so this is quite useful, because if you have a sentiment behind things, so for example, you want to see the bullish ones, you want to prove your condition is actually really picking up the bullish chart, bullish shares for you, you can test it by you can test it by setting up a, you know, scan date to some earlier date. For example, 1st of October. You want to see all of the most of your results, right? With their share price actually rising after that scan date, right? Because you're picking up the bullish one. The bullish means the price will rising. By looking at this vertical line, you know, like this one is not, because it's going down. This one is going down. This one is going down. But this one's going up. This one's going up, right? This one's is going down a lot, and this one's going up. So you really, like, this one is going up. So, and you have a very quick way to identify the result is acceptable or not. Okay, so that's that vertical line. You change it. Okay, so this one is being, so all the results here are stored in your PC. So you don't worry about it, you will lost it. For example, you sign off. Okay, so if you sign off, let's just close them, because the way you exit this application is either you're going to file and press exit, or you just click this cross button. So if you exit and if you start again, so here is all right, just trying to restart this application. Okay, it's restarted, and if you import the same market data as Australia, top 200 stocks, top 200, and normal mode, and you import. Okay, and you're going back to your market scan control page, market scan management page. As you can see, all this thing is still there, right? So all the scans we just did before, it's still stored for you. You're not gonna lose any results unless you right click and delete it. For example, you don't like that one, so you can right click and delete it. We do not have a delete all, because just because of results, it's very important information. Is but you, it's we only provide, you have to select that individual months at least, sorry, the date, to delete that market scan. Yeah, so that's the last thing here. Finally, you have a way to save your market scan to send to other people. For example, you want to share with this market scan with your friends or your colleagues. So basically what you can do is right click the results, and you go click copy to clipboard, right? So you click on copy to clipboard, and you open your any text editor in your PC. For example, Notepad in Windows, you Control V, or you just right click and paste. As you can see, here is your market scan for the report type. So basically it just formatted well for you. Basically it tells you, okay, so scans come from our technical analysis 2 version 1. The scan name is weekly uptrend shares, so that's the system generated UID, don't worry about that. The scan date you have done it is up to 1st of October, right? So the 1st of October 2021, and you have 58 results, right? So what the filters you're going to use, you have used in this market scans, you have used a trend, the price. Okay, so you use the price trend scanner. The function you used for this market scan is uptrend equals to true. So right, so that's the condition you've been using, because we only picked up one filter here, so that's one there. You have multiple, they're all printed out for you. This is convenient for other people to take a look what conditions you have been used for the market scan. And then finally is the results. So the market is from ASX 200, and those are the code. So the people can, open their chart in their other application or website or whatever using our application, so they can open up those chart to take a look, right? So you can save it to anywhere, PC, and email to people. Okay, so that's the way to do it for now. And in our release one, this is the only way we can report it. But in our future release, if you guys think it's you need a better way to do it, we can put that function into the application to generate the more nicely formatted, even with the chart preview, everything for you. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all for this video. So hopefully you guys were familiar with the whole process of how to do a market scan. All right, so in order to how to create those indicator filters or trend filters, we have already created many tutorials to teach you how to create indicator filters against different indicators, or how to create trend filters in different scanner types. So you need to go into those trend filter playlist or indicator playlist to have a look at those video tutorials. But in terms of normal scan, so I think that's pretty much all for me to show you guys today. Hopefully you think this video is helpful. Okay, thanks for your time, thanks for watching. I see you guys in next video tutorial. Bye for now.